He is playing the epic, most fearful villain in the galaxy, Darth Vader. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big Kansas City welcome to Mr. Spencer Wilding.
Hey guys, I'm a small town in Real in North Wales, so say hello to Real. Shout out, woo!
Welcome. How you doing? So I know that last year you stopped over in Topeka for TopCon. Is this your first trip to Kansas City?
It sure was, and I'm a really big fan of The Wizard of Oz as well, so I had a feeling I had to come to Kansas. So, and you're all beautiful. Can't believe how lovely you are towards, you're the front's lovely as well.
Nice. So, have you been stuck here, or have you been able to get out into the city at all?
I'm sure over this weekend we'll sure adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to ask you the question that everyone in the city is going to ask you, and that is, have you tried our barbecue?
Last night, I forget the name of the place, but...
Oh!
Yeah? Oh yeah. I can only walk, You know when you get full, well I went past full, and I just kept on asking for more, but it was like, I must have ate 3 balls last night. No problem. It was real good.
Was it Kansas City Joe's? Was it in a gas station?
It wasn't in a gas station. No.
So I'm going to give you just a professional tip here, all right? Just go to Kansas City Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, and order the Z-Man, and the Z-Man, yes, and that'll end all conversations. Once you say that, everybody's like, all right, he's good.
Z-Man.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Cool. You having a good day?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, thanks for inviting me over here. It's awesome. Yeah. Kansas Comicon.
All right, so to get started, just for those in the audience that aren't as familiar with your work, what I thought we would do would just sort of give them a brief history of the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Spencer Wilding. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you're from Wales, right?
It's a little town called Rhyl in North Wales, is where the seaside meets the mountain. We've got great families, great kids, just like you guys over here. Big hearts, the Welsh, you know what I mean?
And prior to getting into acting, you were in kickboxing, right?
That's right.
So can you just kind of take us back, go through a little bit of what it was like growing up in Wales and how you got into the kickboxing scene?
Well, Wales, where I'm from, Rhyl, it's a very small town, So I went to my first school was called Ysgol Maya, and it was a Roman Catholic school, very strict. And then I went to a high school, Prosthetics High School. Then I went into a farming college called Norfolk Horticultural College and Police Fassy. And I've experienced many jobs, I live in a horse farm, I've been a builder, blah, 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 blah. But I always knew I had a feeling I was going to get into the films. But, I was a heavy dyslexic, couldn't read or write 15 years ago, so I didn't go to acting college, but I still had the feeling. I had a dream, and I just wanted to go for this dream. And whatever job I did, I always had a pull on the collar like that, saying, no, this isn't for you. Keep on moving forward, keep on moving forward. So I listened to my thoughts in my head, I call them my fight gods, and they said, well, Spen, how are you going to do it? You're going to get into the kickboxing ring, you're going to become a champion, and there'll be a guy in the audience go, well, hey, you want to be in a movie? But he wasn't there. But when I took the Welsh and British kickboxing title, there was a small shop in town, a photography shop, and I went there because my mum was very proud of me. I wanted to get a picture for the mantelpiece with me and my belts, and so we took these pictures. But when I went into the kickboxing moves to get into the films, but I got so deep into there, I sort of forgot my dreams, and I thought, well, this is it. This is the kickboxing. This is the entertainment that I always must have been feeling when I was a kid. So when they took the picture, Anthony Scott Lee. He rang me up like 3 days after the pictures were taken, and he said, Spen, your pictures are ready. I went, oh great. And he goes, hey Spen, these pictures, they look alright man. I've got a friend in London that knows some people that have a sports agency that deal with sports people that are right at the top of the game, and they put them into the films. And then all of a sudden, this bright bulb went off in my head, and I went, yeah? He goes, well, do you mind if I send these pictures? I went, No. So like 2 days later, the owner of the agency come down and signed me up verbally, luckily, and yeah, the rest is history. So yeah.
So acting was kind of always in the back of your mind, on the radar?
Always a feeling. When I was a kid, I just knew I was going to be in the film. So it's weird.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the world of British Welsh kickboxing and Hollywood filmmaking are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, was that a difficult transition to make from being the British Welsh kickboxer to a movie?
When I first walked onto the Harry Potter set, when I landed the role, the werewolf in Azkaban, 2 weeks prior to that, I was fighting in the boxing ring, kickboxing ring, because I went pro boxing for a bit as well. So I was a kid that got signed up, and I knew nothing about acting. I was on a jolly, man. You know what I mean? I was just having fun. But I was straight in that was one of the biggest movie sets in the world, you know, Harry Potter. And back in 2002, it was Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban. It was when Harry Potter was right up there, you know. It's come down a little bit now, but then it was just like, wow, you know, I was giving Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron kickboxing classes, you know. I was getting told off by the director saying, oh, you're turning the set into a kickboxing ring, you know. And I'm like, what's the matter? Get my six-pack out, hey, what's the matter, you know. It was really fun, and it was amazing. The kids were 14 years old when I trained them, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was amazing.
So it sounds like you pretty much went straight from kickboxing into movies. I mean, there wasn't like a string of years where you were auditioning and getting rejected and having to deal with roadblocks and speed bumps.
Well, there was in the beginning. Like when I got signed up, it was a sports agency, like I say. They sent me for the first thing they sent me for. I don't know if you heard of a film called Snatch. Right, Gary Ritchie film. Right. So they sent me to 3 Mill Studios for an audition to play Tommy, who was completely different than me. We may sound like each other, but he was a short, over big life. Got to be careful with the words I use. And he was a Liverpudlian. So they sent me for the audition, but this was a kid he was a professional fighter, and I was from a town, and you know, from a small town. I knew nothing about acting. I couldn't read or write, literally like that. So I thought I was going to get on this train, get to London. There's going to be red carpet there, and guys with trumpets going, "You're in the movies," you know. But that didn't happen. I got there, and they passed me my script, my dialogue, and I didn't even know what it was because I couldn't read. You know, the knowledge that I should have took in. I don't know if anybody's got dyslexia in the room, but the knowledge I should have taken in school, they didn't take it in because I was just a class clown. They didn't understand about dyslexia all them years ago. So they do now, it's a good time to have it. And so I completely crashed that audition. And then they would set me up for a few more things, and a few more things, and a few more things. And then the agency gave up on me then. You know, I didn't hear from them for 9 months. And then I got a phone call off a friend saying, hey, are you still in the movies, Spen? And I said, well, no, you know what, I'm going to stick with the fighting. I can't even read or write, mate. So that's a dream that I'll have to let go. I can't do it. And they go, well, Warner Brothers have been on the radio, on Radio 1, and looking for a really, really tall actor to play the werewolf. And then I went, I looked upstairs and went, oh, right, okay, you're going to get me in this way. So I got in touch with the agent, and I said, am I still signing you guys? And he said, oh yeah, we've been very busy. I said, all that. And I said, well, listen, Warner Brothers are looking for a really tall actor. It's a professional, they did professional actor, it's a closed door, can you get me the audition? Oh right, okay, we'll give you a ring back. 2 weeks later, they ran me back straight away. So I just knew I was going to get this part. And we had 3 callbacks at Leeds Studios, and this is now the Harry Potter world. And yeah, 3 weeks into the auditions, I got the part, and that's when the roller coaster started to ride, you know. Strapped myself in, and still here.
So you mentioned Snatch, which is one of my favorite films, but so you auditioned for that, didn't get it, which that casting director doesn't know what they were doing. I mean, you would have been perfect in that role. I would have made movies.
You know what? They were great with me. You know, when I come out of the room, I got very emotional when I was in there because it's very hard. You know, when you're struggling to read, so you definitely can't act for one. And then when they come out of the room, they said, "Listen, Spen, you've got a face for the films we want." You know, so get yourself some side reading lessons and blah blah blah. And that's when I started to. It's about a cerebellum. It's the muscle that didn't develop properly in childhood, the dyslexia. So I went and did courses and this, that, and the other. Now I'm delivering lines with the big boys. So I've come a long way in a short time. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the start, which was Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter. After that, you did some stunt work. You were Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Batman Begins, Beowulf. You got to be in Stardust with Robert De Niro in drag. I mean, who else can say that, right?
It's so cool. I remember the scene, you know when you've all seen Stardust? Right? It's a great film, isn't it? So, as pirates, went running into his room on the ship, and Mark Strong was just about to kill him, tried to kill him, and we all walked in and he jumped out the window and swam off and got away. So this is the first time we've seen Mr. De Niro, Bob, in a dress, because it was his thing. And so when they went cut, he said, was that all right? To me, he said, and I said, yeah, it's all right. Yeah. I said, but you look better with the gun in your hand, don't you? But no, it was great. It was awesome to work with one of my heroes, Robert De Niro, and but all of us love Robert De Niro. It was just, I remember the first day we met Mr. De Niro, and he took us into one of the back rooms in Shepperton Studios, and they said, it could have been Palmer Studios, and he said, listen, Mr. De Niro, you're going to meet him, and you're all going to say a line to him, and so he's confident with you, you're with him. So we come in, and he said, hi, first of all, I want you to call me, not Robert De Niro, Mr. De Niro, blah, blah, blah. I answered to Bob. I said, well, that's cool. I said, God, can't I go in with Mr. De Niro? But yeah, it was cool.
So if you ever see De Niro on the street, you say, hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. So, since you landed the role in Harry Potter, it seems like it's just been a snowball effect since then. I mean, every year after that, you've got another bigger, badder role. You were in 3 of the best Matt Smith Doctor Who episodes, right? This guy was the Creature, the Wood King, the Ice Soldier.
Scarlet, yeah.
Yes.
Very confident character he was.
Guardians of the Galaxy, you were the guard that stole the headphones from...
That's right, the big dog. You seen that?
Yeah. So, and the list just goes on and on and on. So, you've conquered British Welsh kickboxing. You've been in DC, Marvel, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, and now Star Wars. So now you've conquered the Nerdville, the Congo. So what's next?
Yeah, it's, I'm living the dream, thank me God every day. But to land all these different characters and feel all the different presence and spirit of each character, it's amazing, right?
So, were you a fanboy as a kid? I mean, like I said, you've been in all these different universes. Were you a fanboy of any of them as a kid?
Yeah, huge. The old school Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back and all them, yeah. Huge fan.
Did you get to see the original New Hope in the theaters?
I did. And basically, I was 5 years old, because I was born in 1972. So it came out in 77, right? And my dad, I said, everybody was raving about Star Wars, and I vividly remember it. It was from I live in Rill, and the neighbouring town is called Prestatyn, and they had one cinema there, that Saturday matinees and all that. So my dad was going to take me to Star Wars, and we got there, and we sat down, and eating popcorn, and drinking the Coca-Cola, and eating the ice cream, not all at the same time, but it got messy. But I'm looking and I'm thinking, where's the spaceships? Where's this? Where's that? You know what I mean? What's this? And my dad wasn't into it, and he took me in to see the Pink Panther. So I'm 5 years old going, what's going on? What is it? So, I was a bit gutted really, so I got to see it a little bit later.
So, just to start the ball rolling on the Star Wars, I'm assuming Sunday afternoon you're sitting in your living room, whatever, watching some boxing or some football. And by football, I mean soccer.
Yeah, get it right.
You're just chilling at home, and Gareth calls you up, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to play Darth Vader?"
Well, Gareth didn't call me. Okay. And it doesn't sound like, hey, Darth Vader.
Sorry, that's the best I could do.
But no, how it worked, we had a self-tape first, and my agency is based in Manchester. So I went there, and when we were given the script, it didn't say Darth Vader. It said like Captain Hook or something, not Captain Hook, but something else that resembled another character. So I was saying to my agent, I was saying, listen, man, I said, I've got a funny feeling this is Darth Vader. And he goes, no, it's not. He's important, but it's not Darth Vader. I said, I'm telling you. So why'd you say that? Because at the end of every line, it's going. No. But it was, you know, there was words in there. You know, when I was doing it, I got a very sore throat at the moment. So I'll have a go at doing the dialogue, but because on set, well, I'll get to that bit in a minute. So I had the second call back. Then they flew me over to Paramount Studios, snuck me in the back door. I was right up in the top, some of the top rooms, and they snuck me in because I filmed in Paramount Studios for a very long time, and then the rumour was out there that they may be casting Darth Vader. So if Spencer Wilder in 6'7" turns up at Paramount Studios, then they're going to go, oh, it's him, you know what I mean, he's going to play it. So, but when I actually got that part, there was a lot of dialogue, but when I officially knew it was Darth Vader, when they'd drawn the curtains back and the suit was there with the head. So imagine what you'd have all felt. You could look through my eyes. You know, he pulled it back, and I was like, I'm a big tough guy, but a tear come down here, I was like, oh my God. So they stuck it on me. And when at first, because I'm quite spiritual with my characters, the presence and the spirit comes to me, I step out and they use my body. That's probably how it works so much. But when I thought to myself, well, if it is Darth Vader, it can't be a presence and spirit of Darth Vader, surely not. And then when he come to me, when the dresser put the helmet on me for the first time to do my last audition to get the part, he came to me and the presence changed in the room, and the guy literally, honestly, he put the helmet on. You can see he's done this a million times, you know. And I just turned around and went into mode, you know. But the voice of Darth Vader came to me and everything, you know. Because it's always going to be James Earl Jones, and I'm sure they've gotten to read the dictionary 3 times, so it'll always be in the next 1,000 years. But when I got, close your eyes. It probably sounds really bad now, but I've got a really sore throat. I've been filming for the past week, and it was quite straining the voice. I'm not making an excuse if it comes out a bit rubbish. So there was one of the scenes there with Director Krennic. Right, when I come down the ship for the steam, and there's a moment with both characters there. So I go, don't be too sure that the Emperor is as impressed with you as you are with yourself, Director. Reckless ambition is not a quality the Emperor admires, but your efforts will still be. It sounds a lot different than that on the day, especially when I remember on the first day of filming, I was going at the end of my dialogue, I was going, and they go, Spen, you don't have to do that, we'll put that in later. So it was crazy, man. It's great.
So given your background as a kickboxer and stuntman, I assume that you got to do everything that Darth Vader did in the film, correct?
Did I?
Did you?
No, I didn't. 2 of us played a part.
Oh, 2
of us played a part. I'm sure you knew this, anybody sort of in there. But the scenes I didn't do, which I'm gutted about, but Dan did an awesome job. But the set was built for Dan. Dan's more of a stuntman. He did the last end scene, which is awesome, right? The very beginning scene with the battle tank. I filmed all the other scenes, but you know what? There's a Darth Vader. There's one Darth Vader. It doesn't matter who's in the suit. There's one Darth Vader, and I think he brought it for the fans. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I know that when Rogue One appeared in your hometown, you showed up in the Darth Vader appearance. Have you done any other appearances since?
I've only ever been in the suit away from it. It wasn't the original suit, but I do Comicons. I like to do small Comicons. I like to do the big Comicons. I've been doing Comicons now for 8 years. I'm a fan to meet the fans, because without the fans, we wouldn't be sitting here, you know. Because I'm like my town's kid. I'm the kid that did good, you know. In real, it's a great little town. So when I landed this role, they used to the whole town used to come to my fights. So when I landed the film world and then I landed Darth Vader, they're all just buzzing, you know. They're very excited for me. So as a thank you, I got in touch with some cosplayers and said, listen, is there a 6'7" Darth Vader out there anywhere? And he turned up with a suit, and I had like 30 stormtroopers there, I had 8-foot Chewbacca's there, and, you know, the superheroes were all there, everybody, you know, it was just awesome. And Keith Arnold was there. He come up with the big 8-foot Chewbacca. You might have seen him on the shows over the UK. He's a huge Chewbacca, and he's got big dreadlocks and everything. So they all turned up, and the BBC News was there, HTV News was there, ITV News was there. So it was a big thing. So I got all the guys to come down, because I used to work in nightclubs for many years. That's probably why I got a bit of the dark side of me, but it's a rough little town. Yeah. So I'm one of the guys that they allowed me to use their nightclub for everybody, all the cosplayers to get dressed, right? So I said to the guys, I said, it should be quite busy, you know, it should be quite busy. I hope it should come all the way from Scotland, which is a 6-hour drive. And they come down purely for the passion that they did. All they wanted was an autograph off me. Do you know what I mean? That's all. So it was beautiful. And they brought their little charity boxes down for their things. So when they come down, they all come down there about 5 o'clock, and the show was kicking off about 6 o'clock. Basically, it was me walking up the street with all the cosplayers. We had police presence both sides. Do some Q&As for the people, and then go watch the film. You know, I thought this was going to be done in about half an hour. You know, something like that. That's all it took from here to the wall. Yeah, so I put my head out about 5:30, and I thought there's nobody there. I thought, oh, they're probably all busy working or something. Oh well, at least the TV crew there. But I was more gutted for the cosplayers to come all that way. So an hour later, when I come up the street, I was going, where's the top of the street gone? And there was thousands of people there. And it was just an amazing moment, and it took me 4 hours to go 30 feet, because I had all the kids jumping over me, and it was just an amazing experience. You know, it was an amazing buzz, and to be in the suit as well, it was great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, speaking of fans, let's go ahead and turn it over to the audience. I think we've got a few people for some Q&A.
Oh gosh. So, I was wondering, like, so you mentioned James Earl Jones, and there's been others, Darth Vader's as well. So what's it like to have to kind of step into a role that's already been played and kind of live up to that?
I just wanted to, you know, we had our movement guy who's actually a performer as well, Paul Casey. And I'm sure you're going to meet him at some stage, so I'm going to get him over here. And so we had to keep the movements as Darth Vader. But there's, like I say, there's only one presence and there's only one spirit of Darth Vader. So when he chooses you don't choose him. Do you know what I mean? So when he chose me, or like when he was ready to come back, I was like, ooh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's he's got a hell of a presence, you know. And so to play Darth Vader, because I'm a huge geek anyway, you know, when it comes down to things like that. So when I'm walking on set, going into the mode, I'm bringing it. I was inside that thing. It was like I was inside it, like a 3D cinema or something, and I'm just watching it like, whoa, come on, Darth, do it. Go on, choke him out. No, it's just, how would you feel?
Pretty awesome.
There you go. That's how I feel, right? I feel how all you lot would feel. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Good question.
All right. Thank you. Next one.
Hello, Spencer. My name is Latrell Astor, and I'm just curious, did you ever meet the original Darth Vader, Dave Prowse, and did he give you any tips?
He didn't give me tips, but because we were sworn to secrecy, you know, and there was a lot of people on set. There was actors and extras and people, but somebody somewhere spoke, you know, when a year before filming was released, and said, "Oh, Spencer's playing Darth Vader," you know, somebody somewhere, because I was away, I was gutted. Because I wanted it to be a bit, you know what I mean? But I was, you know, it was a hell of a secret to keep for a year. I couldn't even tell my family. I had national papers front door stepping me. You know, teachers were asking me kids, because it's not like a little character, is it? You know what I mean? It's a huge character, and everybody wanted to know. So the rumor was out. You know, I had to couldn't confirm or deny for it.
So how long did you have to keep this secret from your family?
13 months.
Okay.
That's a very long time.
It's a long one, right?
Just like, so long, going to work, talk to you later.
Yeah, I remember the Sun newspaper. I don't know if you ever heard of the Sun newspaper. It's a big paper we got back home. And they turned up a couple of weeks before the film was coming out. And I was upstairs and there was a knock on the door and the missus answered the door. And he goes, oh, can you tell me if Spencer Wilder lives here? Blah, 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 blah. And I come down the stairs and put my head around the door and I said, you all right, mate? And he goes, oh, Mr. Wilder, would you tell us who made Darth Vader? I said, oh, calm down. I said, where have you come from, mate? Cardiff. And Cardiff is a 6-hour drive from we are, right? From North Wales to South Wales. I went, it's a long drive back, in it. So I said, listen, we're not mean, but like I say, I can't confirm or deny. So you're not getting anything out of me, because no matter what I'm working on, doesn't matter whatever it is, when you're a professional actor and you sign a confidential you're not going to work again if you open your mouth. So I said, but come in, keep on your side, come in, have a cup of tea. So my little boy come in, and he's only 11, he was 12 a couple of days ago, and he come in, and as soon as he come in, he goes, so how is it? Having Darth Vader as your dad? I went, I said, what you want it? And he goes, what? Poker face. I went, come on, boy. Yeah, so it was awesome. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Next question.
That's the coolest walk I've ever seen somebody come up to the mic. Like Danny DeVito coming up there, man.
Thank you. In a previous Q&A I'd watched, you had expressed an interest in the theater. I was going to ask you if that's still an interest, what appeals to you about the theater, and Kansas City is a great theater town.
You never know. Yeah, I've actually been, when I could read or write, I was actually being, there's a theatre called the Almeida Theatre in Islington. It's a very famous theatre, right, very old. And it was a political play. And it was a one-night showing, and it was a complete sellout. And my friend, Lady Alice Douglas, Earl of Queensberry's granddaughter, she directed the play. And she knew I had this dream, and she said, oh, Spen, come on, you can play the prison guard. They only had a cast of 6 people. You can play the prison guard and a member of the public. So that's the first and only time I've been on the, walking the planks. And but now I'm getting there with the reading, and I'm taking it in a lot better. I would love to do a bit of theatre work. What is proper, it's real acting, real acting. You can go again with the film, with the character, you can mess up and go again and go again. You can't do it up there. It's real acting.
I think you do very well.
Cheers, man. Thanks, man.
Well, you did some dancing in Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Oh, yeah. Anybody see that? Did anybody see that?
So maybe there's a musical in your future then?
Get me twinkle toes on. That scene there unfortunately didn't make the film, but they put it in the special features and on Blu-ray, right? And they sprung that on me on the last 30 minutes of the shoot day. Mr. James Gunn, the legend, they called me onto set and he said, hey Spen, do you think you could dance through the prison? Get jiggy with it, go down on that, and then be mean to that prison guard over there, be mean to the prisoner. I said, yeah, no problem. So I did that, and it was dead quiet for a second after they cut, and then everybody just went, ah. That's all right dancing, what's funny, you know what I mean? But then, but he goes, that was brilliant. But can you dance like an alien? I said, well, you've employed an alien, you've got an alien. So it was really funny. So on the DVD at the end when you're watching it, and the commentary was on there, Mr. Gunn goes, we made a mistake here, we should have left it in the film. So, but it was, you know what? This made the special features an extra treat to see the mean guard dance in the prison. It was hilarious. I loved it. I'm a fan of the mean guard. It's cool.
So, speaking of extra scenes, were there any additional